All right, so we're in the basement and we're gonna talk about HVAC. In this house in particular, most of the HVAC is down here because it's not a 2-story. And basically what they're doing right now is ductwork, right?
Yep.
Yep.
So right now they're running all the supplies and returns for this house. Typically when we meet on this, it's not necessarily a meeting we have with the homeowner, but we're trying to make sure that HVAC guys are keeping all of their runs tight. What that means is trying to keep them all in the same area. So behind me, you can kind of see this return, or the supply here. And what we want them to do is keep it as tight as they can to a beam, because that'll make sure that the drop is tighter and makes this room feel bigger and keeps our ceiling high.
Yeah, so basically when you put the drywall in, you can't just put a wall there. It's got to be dropped down lower than what the ceiling's going to be.
Correct.
So if you have multiple different places where that HVAC is coming in, then you can have a lot of drop ceilings, right?
Right.
So super important to think about particularly layout and how that's going to go in, because it does affect basically how you feel in the area. And the other thing you talked about is there's a main beam through here.
Yeah, so that the main support beam runs right down the center of this. And with that being there, it's kind of an obstacle for the guys. And in order for them to get across it, they have to have a supply on each side to be able to do that, because you can't cut through that because it's structural.
Yeah.
Now, part of that, the one side of it is going to be in a hallway, and we don't mind if the entire hallway is dropped because it's still 8-foot ceilings.
Yeah. And that's, again, super important to think about the layout, how that's going to go with the beam, with how it's going to look, how it's going to feel. So as much as this stage doesn't look pretty, it's super important because it's going to make it look pretty later on. So super important to go meet with your builder at this stage, because this is the opportunity to be able to change things if you have to. And, otherwise you're kind of out of luck at that point.
Yeah. Not only in addition to electrical walkthrough, we will always do basically a pre-cover walkthrough, which is just our last chance to go around and say, hey, is everything the way we want it?
Yeah.
And make sure everybody's understanding what they're getting before we start insulating drywall.
Yeah. And something too we've touched about just in personal conversation is sometimes people have a hard time imagining what's going to look like. First, when it gets done, then they want to change things. But really, this is a stage you should try to use that imagination so you can understand if you need to move something.
Yep. Yes. Very much.
And again, with things being able to be moved or whatever, plumbing is another big one. We're going to head up to the bathroom upstairs, show you some of the new things that are going on with the bathroom and what you can and can't change with that. So let's head upstairs, back upstairs, and check that out.